What is the worst thing you have found on someone else's phone? Not me, but a bartender friend of mine found a phone unlocked on the bar and couldn't locate its owner, so he punched in his own phone number and found out he was already in the contacts as Creepy J. Did this once, used a friend's phone to call mine so I could locate it. My number was saved under no talkie. Are you mute by chance? Videos of my then husband descending into madness. He had gotten a traumatic brain injury, after which he took loads of videos of him going crazy. Last one, he was covered in vomit arguing with his reflection and had no idea it was him. 100% do not suggest watching someone you love like that. Trauma. Sounds like he recorded this intentionally to chronicle what he already suspected was happening. I'm sure. It was scary. He cried a lot and was confused. Forgot about our baby. It was watching him die. Sorry mate. My dad was a nuclear physicist and professor. Got brain cancer in the late 80s. Watched him deteriorate to the point where he forgot basic English words and didn't know what certain objects were for, such as a shovel, a bowl, a pot, etc. Very difficult. See someone go through that. Brain cancer is a thief. I watched my dad go from managing farm loans for a significant portion of the state of Texas to shoving the dirt out of a potted plant into his lip like snuff. His brain tumor basically caused him to revert to childhood, with random muscle memory type behaviors sticking around the longest. It's been 22 years and I still feel robbed. My ex-wife's. Found a recipe for potato salad with raisins in it. I understand why you two divorced just from that recipe. My dad died about 1.5 years ago in a car accident. I went through his phone after he passed and he had taken pictures of the bay near where he grew up the morning of his accident, and he had a half-written text message to me making plans to see me for Christmas. It's not like those things are shocking or awful in the way CP or whatever is, but it's shocking and awful in a way that it's a view into a life cut short. It was 2 days before Christmas and he was reminiscing about his childhood and planning with his children, and it all just ended in the blink of an eye. It guts me every time I think about it. My ex-wife's iTunes on her iPhone was actually my account that I set up for my iPad. She was just too lazy to set up a new account. So I told her if she did that her messages would come through to my iPad. She said she didn't care until she started cheating on me and I got the text directly to my iPad. Don't leave us hanging. What happened next? Oh, by that point it was just generic domestic drama. She denied there was anything at first. I knew she was lying and we got divorced. It was just through her own stupidity that she got caught. Hanging out with a work friend after work. We would have a couple beers at this restaurant and he would scroll Tinder and I would help him decide on which way to swipe. Until we saw my wife, now ex-wife. That was not a great time. Edit, this exploded lol, 9 years on Reddit now, over half my karma is just this comment. Thank you for the supportive DMs. Oh no. Duck, that's brutal. It was. I'm good now though. How did you confront her? I got on Tinder and super liked her. Holy shit, you win, man. Hope the divorce went smoothly. Very actually. Everything in the apartment that I paid for I owned. She took her clothes and her cats to her mom's and just had to pay for processing fees. I found out my wife is dying after I read messages exchanged between her and her sister. I guess she was too afraid to tell me just yet. I waited till she wanted to tell me on her own before I told her that I had seen the messages and had already known. Damn. Hugs to you and your wife. Hope y'all are doing okay. Thanks, I appreciate it truly. We're trying to make every moment a good one, cause these moments will be our kids' memories. Speaking from experience of losing my take as many videos of her and her talking as you can and back them up, make copies of the beefed up ones, these will be priceless. Exu. Great advice, candid clips too. Older guy here and I lost my mum late 2020 but don't have many picsvids. I was going through files from an old Nokia phone and found one where I was recording our old cat just chilling, and there's a conversation audible over the top where mum's asking about a crossword clue and there's a bit of back and forth between us. Just normal, nothing why stuff, but meant a lot to hear her voice again. Yes, that is exactly what I'm talking about, not just the I love yous but also the mundane normal everyday conversations, or the way they answer yes when you call them saying your name, their laugh, their thoughts, their advice. The way they sit, Facial expressions, all of this is pure gold. You would give up your life for a single moment with them again. Found texts from my GF's secret lover. This was in the early 2000s, when phones were still super primitive. Her phone had that Snake game on it, and mine didn't, so I would occasionally use her phone to play Snake. The game would get interrupted if someone texted though. And sure enough, while I was playing, her secret lover texted her. I saw it, and then couldn't help myself and had to read the rest of the texts between them. Absolutely crushed me. Mild compared to a lot of other people's stuff posted here, I know. It doesn't have to be much to hurt. An old friend of mine called me frantically requesting I come to his house because he needed a witness. He feared his then wife was about to call cops and accuse him of domestic violence. I could hear her in the background screaming, "Jose, don't believe him." I don't live close, but I was concerned and drove over. They live in a cul-de-sac and I could hear the screaming before I got in the door. When I opened the door, he was at the top of the stairs trying to explain she is crazy. She was trying to explain that my friend is a pervert. So, of course my immediate thought was he must have been caught ducking around. Well, to my shock and disappointment, she managed to yank the phone from him and she immediately started scrolling to pictures. She had to show me to convince me that my buddy I have known for over a decade is a pervert. She showed a dick pic. I was like, gross but okay. He started yelling, "That isn't me." Which made me even more uncomfortable because now my buddy is admitting to receiving dick pics. No. He had taken the picture and had sent it to his wife's coworker's daughter. She was 12. I had always believed that had I ever confronted a child predator, that I would fuck him up. I didn't. Instead, I made sure his wife was able to call the cops without him trying to stop her. The end. Wow. So how did your friend think you could be a witness for him, I wonder? I stopped listening to any excuses once I knew of the girl receiving the picture. All I wanted is for the cops to show up. He went away for a little over a year. He would call his wife daily. Only once or twice did she accept. I had a feeling that once it was known why he was incarcerated, that his time in there, no matter how short, must be hell. His wife told me he begged for money to place on his books because that was the only way to avoid the beatings. She did. It was his own money. Never talked to him again. A picture of my sex toy up his butt sent to another girl. So much twists in so little words. My nudes that I did not send to them. Oh, WTF. It was really scary at the time, but it was years ago. I've learned to be more careful with my choice, and partners sometimes have a laugh about it. CP. Hess in jail now. When I worked Geek Squad, 2 of my coworkers had found CP on a computer given to us for maintenance. That's always a fun call to make. It's not all that uncommon, sadly. In my short time at a PC repair shop, for the general public, if I found porn saved locally on someone's machine, it may not have been the majority of the time, but it wasn't far off that it was child porn. Partially because if it's labeled porn, I'm probably not opening it, and pedophiles don't usually just label their shit with what it is. And you can tell how common it is by how calmly and smoothly they handle it when you report it to the cops. One of the only good things about my boss at that repair shop was that when something like that happened, he'd give you time off, immediately, and check in with you every day until you were back working, to see if you were holding up okay or needed more help. I have a feeling that this and similar incidences are partial reasons why most large device repair facilities will wipe the drives no matter what kind of repair they're doing. It may not be needed 100% of the time, but it works often, and you don't have to deal with whatever evil the mother ducker you are sending it back to gets up to. I think my favorite way someone tried to hide it, regular porn, not CP, was he saved it all straight to his desktop but then turned off desktop icons. Turning off desktop icons and changing the wallpaper is a common way for malware to scare the user, and his machine was in for virus cleaning, so I re-enabled them, and lo and behold. This was in the XP days.